She's closer now, her daughter can hear.
Welcome, everybody. I believe it is 6 o'clock. It's time to get the Board of Education meeting underway. Can we have the roll call and declaration form?
Silva? Here. Bradley? Here. Stacy?
Here.
Knoble? Here. Linneman? Benny? Aye. Here. Curran?
Here.
And Lindbergh? Here. We have a quorum.
Okay. And would everyone rise for the pledge of allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And for the invitation, we have Pastor Jared Corzine, the committee back.
Thank you very much. Again, my name is Jared Corzine on behalf of Unity. Thank you for belonging in this wonderful community with us. And before I pray, we're going to begin with a moment of silence. You may be aware that Yanni Ivy, a student at Coolidge, an 8th grade student, passed away peacefully a few days ago. Wonderful woman and a strong leader, and so we're going to have a moment of silence for her. So let's bow our heads. Gracious God, we thank you for the blessings of community. And Father, we thank you for the blessing of this particular city and all that it means, the families, the schools, the students, God, everybody who works to make these things possible. Lord, we pray for a blessing on Yanni's family. God, we ask in many ways that you would guide so many decisions being made here tonight by this board. God, we pray that you would be honored and glorified by the things that are celebrated. God, we thank you for the track team from Coolidge, so many students who went to state, and God, I just can't help but be proud on behalf of our family, of our nephew Landon. God, we thank you for the gifts that you give and for the ways that you receive glory from your people. God, guide this time tonight. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
I'm sitting again.
And is there anyone here for public comment? Okay. Well, we've got some there you go, recognition.
I'm very excited. We have a lot. It always makes me happy when we have a lot of awards and things to celebrate, right? First, we'd like the board, administration would like to recognize our 22-23 Coolidge Junior High School track and field team. If you would all come up, please. There were 14 of you, correct, that qualified? There was 4, but 14. Do you want to come up? Up here too. Yeah, they have part of it too. Come on. Did I say that right? I do believe there were, of course, what I said. So there's 14 amazing. I was at when they announced how many of you were going. You don't know I was there, but I was listening. It's a Edwardsville track, and 14 going qualifying for state was pretty amazing. So that's quite a feat for the athletes and for their coaches. I mean, it's just amazing. So I'm going to call. We have the right behind you. Would you okay. We'll start with Kaylee Bastian. Did I say that right? Bastine. Okay, I'm so sorry. It's really hard. Hold up. Congratulations. Cordell Vaughn. Jersey Egbert. Did I say that right? Joel Ferrone. He's not. Is that right, though? Did I say that right? Okay, let's give him a hand. There we go. Tyrese Graham? Not here? Tyrese Graham? Okay, Landon Harris. Have a little more to talk about him. Amir Rogers Harris? Not here either. Desmond Hart. Jeremiah Martin. Okay.
Yeah, Jeremiah.
Get a picture of everybody. Lincoln Odell. Not here. Charlie Schwaller. Not here either. Oh, she's at summer.
Yeah.
That's what happens, right? Ethan Shaw. What's up? Claire Woodward. And Autumn Woolard. Hey, give them all a big hand and then we're so maybe some in front, maybe some people in front, maybe a couple of you guys.
Couple rows. There we go.
There we go, there we go. You guys got this? You got it, your knees probably are killing
No, we need one, at least one down here.
you. One more, there you go. Thanks, guys.
There we go. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, parents, hold on. Hold on.
And I'm gonna stand up, I still wanna say something.
You can stand up and move wherever you
Here.
want.
Sure, you
Here, I
can.
got you. I got you. We're good.
I was not getting it for this.
I'm just gonna steal the one that you guys post if you're gonna post it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's fine. Your children, so your picture.
I know, that's right.
There you go.
Okay, thank you so
Stand up here for a
much.
minute, talk about Landon a little bit too. So, we want to recognize also through the IESA, which is the Illinois Elementary School Association, we have IHSA and IESA, for a 8th grade 1600 meter state champion and new state record holder with a time of 4 minutes, 31 seconds, 56, whatever that milliseconds. As well as, you thought that wasn't good enough, the 800 meter state champion and new state meet record holder with a time of 2:01:16. Landon Harris from Coolidge Junior High, we are so proud of you. Just so you know, too, the 4A is the largest school group, right? So we're looking at what? How many schools?
Oh, I couldn't even. I don't have any.
Just
A lot.
three?
I have no,
A lot.
I have no clue at all.
I mean, the fact that he hit a whole new state record holder for the entire state in Class 4A is just, I don't know if everyone understands the accomplishment that really is. And we're just incredibly proud of him, and we can't wait to see what's to come. So we wanted to make sure we did that. Thank you all for all
Can I take those and I'll give them to
Sure.
the kids tomorrow? Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
Way to go, babe.
Here, come on. Come over here.
Yeah, I'll hold the paper line. You can have the important one.
Hey, Landon, come over here so we get the background.
Look, I bet sure.
Congrats, Landon.
The events, because they all get those. My kids both ran state cross-country tracks. So that was exciting. We'd also at this time like to recognize paraprofessional at Prather Elementary, Miss Rhonda Conklin. So this this is the second time we've had an amazing human save another child. And it's incredible that we're lucky to have people like you working for us. Do you want to explain the
Absolutely.
situation, Ms. Brown? She's the principal of Prather.
Absolutely. We actually had a student earn a reward as of a Starburst. So they were excited, they got their treat, and they happened to choke on it. But Miss Conklin was the saving grace, the calm in the storm. She just swooped right in, used her skills, and saved the little guy. So we absolutely appreciate service at Prather, and we can't thank you enough.
I can't thank you enough for being there for our kids, and we wanted to give you a certificate,
That's awesome.
and we're so fortunate to have you. Thank you.
So thank you.
Careful with his Starburst.
Right. No more Starburst. No more Starburst.
Thank you. What I would like to bring up now is a second-year teacher at the high school. It's hard to believe sometimes that she's only been here 2 years. I feel like she's already a staple at the high school. I'd like to bring up Miss Ashley Ritchie from Gracie High School. She has been selected to receive the $1,000 Book Club grant. It was for expanding classroom libraries with a diverse selection of books that students can and will want to read, and teachers that will guide them through as readers. But you need to know that she went out to look for this grant on her own, obtained it on her own. It's just amazing. Did you buy a lot of books already? Oh, yeah. She's already bought books. And I also want to tell you that with Ashley, there's so much more. Her attitude, just the way she wants to help kids, that inspiration she inspires. Just going in her classroom, if anybody ever wants to call and go in, there's always something inspirational, encourages strong learning. I think right now you have, what are those, Wygelia? What are the things across the back?
Greenery wall.
She's got greenery, she has quotes everywhere. It's just a wonderful environment, I think, for kids too. And also her dedication as a second-year teacher. She ran the Teacher's Choice Awards this year. Personal Choice Awards. Ran all that as a second-year teacher. You see her everywhere. Kids are always in her room. On her first year, I had an email from a parent of a young boy. She teaches what, freshman, sophomore? And the dad said that not an English student, never really enjoyed it, but he made a point of sending me this to talk about Miss Ritchie and say how much his son enjoyed English and got it. I think he got an A. Was super excited, and so I framed it and sent it to her because not often, do you hear positives, right? And so I just wanted to make sure, but that's an example, just one example of all the stuff she does with students and how she's become a staple. I think you'd all agree. You probably didn't have her, but you've seen her everywhere, right? Right? So, but we really are happy to do this thing. We wanted to make sure. I don't know if we have a. There's one. Is it this one? Okay. Frame we wanted to give you because $1,000 worth of books that she went out to get on her own. We're just so proud of you. Everything you do. Thank you for being here. Oh, track athlete. Where's Miss Titchell? So she would come help me out. You can come. I'm glad you made it. Yes. So which one is this? Oh, Tyrese Grant. Did I say Tyrese? I apologize. Tyrese Grant. Good job. Here's another
What was your event?
Yes, what was your event? A special picture. What about you? Ooh, fast. Good job. Thank you very much. At this time, we're going to bring up our wonderful, I might give a little emotional, student board member for this year, Ms. Caitlin Lineker. I don't think there's enough I can say about Caitlin. If you've been to any of the award ceremonies for the last 2 weeks, she's been in all of them. Okay, and you're going to school Mizzou, is that right, for secondary ed?
Yes.
Which I'm super excited about. And in which field? Social studies. Which is, I'm so excited. So there's nothing that she doesn't do. She's done what, drama, you've done band, you were student council, honor society. Make sure I get everything. Speech and debate, that's wrong thing, right? There's just so many things if you can't turn around at the high school and without finding Caitlin doing something. So, and then taking on this responsibility, which has been really wonderful, and getting to know her, this special young woman, I can't wait to see everything that you accomplished in the years to come. So, we have something for you. I'm excited about this. And have a nice award for her from the board. So, it has the, Award of Excellence presented to Student Advisory School Board Member Caitlin Lineker, 2323. So we wanted to give having a student voice on the board is so important. Being able to hear what's important to them, that's why we're all here. So what we'd like to do now, we had an interview committee. You want to go up there and picture on this one?
Let me get a picture real quick.
Oh, okay. Hold on, let them work. We're going to call up, we had interviews. We had some incredible candidates. We're going to start a student advisory council next year. We're going to start with the 3 candidates that were part of the selection process because they were also amazing. We had made a decision and we decided on Miss Anna Forbes, if she'd like to come up. So we have this little tradition that I do believe Anna's brother Max started. So we're passing the torch.
That's good.
I love that. And it's her responsibility to keep that torch safe for the next year. So,
And if it breaks, Max can fix it.
yes, that's right. Max does those things, right? So we're excited to have Anna on, but we're going to miss Caitlin, but we can't imagine all you're going to accomplish. And you're always free to come back anytime you want and visit and let us know. And we're so happy to have Anna on board. Congratulations. So proud. Okay, thank you very much. We'll see you soon.
Is that another track athlete?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no.
Come on out.
Here we go. That's okay. You worked fast when you ran, right? So, that's okay. I think it's okay. So this is Lincoln O'Dell. Everybody, good job. 4x2 and 4x4, both difficult ones to do, but my kids are in 4x4 and 4x8. So great job. We're super proud of you.
Here, we'll
Thanks for
get it.
getting here. Picture.
Oh, you get a picture. Right here, right in the middle.
Picture.
Right in the middle. There you go.
Hold that up. Good job. Okay, last but not least, we have some significant retirees here tonight that we would like to recognize in the district. When you added them up, there was over 120 years of experience. I added all the years of service to the district, and that sounds really old, doesn't it? So I'd like to call up first Miss Lisa Yarborough, principal at Mitchell 3-4 Attendance Center. Here with the district. While 33 years. I mean, that kind of dedication isn't, I don't know anymore if we're even going to find things like that. And imagining, while it'll be great, but imagining not having you here is difficult for me. She's an amazing principal, just does a great job, has been in the district in different roles throughout the years. Now, how long have you been at Mitchell?
10 years.
That's what I thought, 10. I was going to say 10, but I wasn't sure. So, like I said, we're going to miss you terribly, but you can always come back and sub. I'm going to. And we have some plaques for them, but we're having a retirement thing tomorrow, so we're going to be presenting those at the retirement center. That's why there's just, we're giving them more than just a piece of paper. But you gave us 33 years. Thank you. Everybody, you go. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you, guys.
Enjoy your retirement.
Thanks.
I had Mrs. Yarborough.
Oh, here we go.
It was very good.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
So did I.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
different names.
Is Miss Mitchell here tonight? I didn't know if we were. So Terry Mitchell was principal at the Frohart 3-4 Center. She has given 28 years to the district. Let's give her a hand too. Now we're gonna have Dr. Stacy Miller. Where is Dr.
Stacy couldn't make it.
Oh no! What did I talk about her too? Like her great style and how she's always smiling and always giving everything we need in terms of assessments, helping kids get through SAT, ACT, whatever we have. She's always there. An amazing individual. So I just want to. She's 21 years as well. So let's give her another big hand. Well, I guess we saved the best for last. I don't know. We're all pretty good. He did go to North. If any of you went to graduation, I did put a Warrior shirt on the Steeler statue at graduation the other evening. You know, just to, right. So Mr. Depew would come forward, please. Oh no! Lisa, you never told me that. That was a whole nother,
I didn't get to graduate from North like he did though.
Oh, yeah, I wore a pin.
Shut it down.
I know, I wore a pin the other night that said, we found for my husband graduated 81 from here, and it said, was Warrior Homecoming stopped the Steelers, and he was very quick to tell me, you didn't, we won. So, very quickly he responded, and he said, and we won the year after that, and the year after that, so we continued to rub it in, but I don't know if there's enough I can say, 33 years with the district too. The amount of time and dedication that all these people have given to their schools, to kids, to athletics in your face. At graduation, just seeing the connection, the bonds he's made with these students over the years as he stood and had them all come by, that was just really touching to see how many of them couldn't wait to get up there and see him. And I think that's a testament to how much he's done through the years and the relationships he's built with these kids. So we really appreciate it. And he gets cake and a plaque tomorrow.
Forward to that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, before we move on, if any of you are ready to go.
Oh, yeah, you don't.
Or you can stay. I mean, the real excitement is about Great job.
He's nice.
Okay. Approval of the minutes. Conversation.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. And then the next is the consent agenda. The treasurer report, the bill list, and some gifts.
That's kind of exciting. The aerial previous Prather, I think they gave squishy balls.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Like
Like squishy stress balls,
squishy stress balls.
fidget fun
A lot
things.
of them, right?
Oh, tons of them, boxes of them.
Which was really cool. Very much appreciated. And Mr. Moran, is he here?
Yes.
He did a great job on senior, what was that, senior
Decision Day.
Senior Decision Day. It's a time where students get to come in and be recognized for what decisions and what school they're going to. And he acquired, like, I think it was over $4,000 worth of gifts for that day. They had a drawing, anyone who came had their name put in there, and they would draw for gifts. There was even, I do believe, was it, who gave the MacBook?
Duke Bakery.
Duke Bakery, yes, with AirPods too, correct?
Yes.
So, and there were just a lot of things, the school gave some luggage, a lot of things, the credit union, a lot of things you can see, on page 5. Okay, well, anyway, it was a really nice night, and then the kids got a lot of nice gifts, and it was it's interesting to see where they're all going and what they had signed up to do, so I thank you very much, Mr. Rand, for that.
Okay, is there anything anybody wants to pull out?
I just wanted to mention something on the bill list, because I've been learning, where everything's going and something. And Zach was very kind, he emailed all of us kind of like the codes, so we know if it's a grant, and then like I think on page 23, it's the location, where these items are going to. So that was really helpful for me, so I just wanted to tell you guys watch that email, so thank you, Zach.
Because there's a lot too. There's a lot to go through. Some of them bring in the codes mean different places, and
Right.
so we appreciate Zach's wonderful.
Okay then, we have a motion for,
So moved.
Second.
any more discussion? Roll call.
Stacy.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Linneman. Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye.
Okay. 8A, rescind retirements and resignations.
I wanted to check with Mr. Parker real quickly. Is this correct that Karen Topol, teacher at Mitchell, rescinding end of 24-25, or is it 23-24?
No, she's rescinding 24-25.
It is, okay, thank you. Okay, so that would be recommended following retirements is Karen Topol, teacher at Mitchell, rescinding effective 24-25.
So moved.
Second.
And this one, we
Roll
can just,
call too.
we can do on this.
Yeah, roll
Roll call.
Roll call.
Noble.
Aye.
Linneman. Benny. Aye. Curran. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Okay. 8B, retirements and resignations.
It is recommended that the following retirements and resignations be accepted. Kimberly Fulbright, nurse at Wilson, retirement end of 23-24 school year. Kim Johan Peter, first grade teacher at Wilson, retirement end of 27-28. We still have her for a while. Kimberly Lignell, social studies teacher at GCHS, retirement end of 26-27. Alicia Null, paraprofessional at Wilson, retirement at 6/29/23. Meredith Tabscott, English teacher, GCHS, retirement end of 26-27. And Karen Topol, teacher at Mitchell, retirement end of 23-24. That's right. Lacey Wilkerson, nurse at Mitchell, resignation effective 5/30/23.
Okay, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Go ahead and do a roll call.
Do I save Linneman even though I know he's not here? Do we still have to do that?
No.
Okay, I just didn't want to be redundant. Thank you. Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
Aye.
Stacy.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Okay, 8C, requests for leaves of absence.
It is recommended that the following requests for leaves of absence be approved. Ms. Kendra Bristol, this is teacher at GCHS, effective 5/19/23 to 8/11/23. Ms. Cynthia Desper, special ed teacher at GCHS, effective 3/8/23 to 5/24/23.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Bradley.
Aye.
Stacy.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Okay, 8D, requests for extensions to leaves of absence.
It is recommended that the following requests for extension to leaves of absence be approved. Ms. Cheryl Clark, administrative assistant, admin offices, effective 5/15/23 to 8/7/23. Ms. Renee Wiedner, paraprofessional Prather pre-K, effective 5/17/23 to 11/15/23.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye. 8E, extracurricular resignations for the 23-24 school year.
Board, you have received detailed information about this item. The admin is prepared to make recommendations or hold discussion in executive session. The GCSD9 administration is recommending the following extracurricular resignations for the 23-24 school year be approved. Alan Schmidt, assistant track coach, Coolidge Junior High. Kathleen Conley, science club sponsor, Gracie High School.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Bradley.
Aye.
Stacy.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
8F, extracurricular recommendations for the 22-23. This is 23-24? No.
Is this for this year?
Oh, this is for,
The remainder of the year?
wait,
The remainder of
it
this
is
year,
22-23?
fourth quarter.
Okay.
Oh,
And then there's the next year's spot.
oh, that's right.
Okay.
Okay, you have received detailed information about this item below. The administration is prepared to make recommendations or hold for discussion in executive session. GCSD9 administration is recommending the following extracurricular recommendations for the 22-23 school year be approved. Ashley Hipper, fourth quarter lunch duty at Quaker.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Stacy.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
8G is extracurricular recommendations for the 23-24 school year. Do we need to read them all?
No.
No?
I was gonna say.
Okay.
So the GCSD9 administration is recommending the following extracurricular recommendations for 23-24 school year be approved. I think that all of them on Coolidge are coaching, and Coolidge has a huge list, all kinds of things on there, and they're listed for the board.
So
Coolidge
moved.
and high school.
Yes, Coolidge and high school.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Noble.
Aye.
Benny. Abstain. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Okay, and 8H, certified and classified substitutes. Keep them coming.
I know, you have received detailed information about this. Administration is prepared to make recommendations or hold for discussion in executive session. It is recommended that the following applicants be board approved as substitutes for the 22-23 school year. Certified Miss Olivia Beckwith, classified Miss Tana Asperger, and Mr. James Lewis.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Sorry. Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
Aye.
Stacy.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Okay, 8I1, employment of kindergarten special education co-taught teacher for the 23-24 school year.
You received detailed information about this item below. Administration is prepared to make recommendations or to hold for discussion in executive session. GCSD9 administration and the interview committee, consisting of Nikki Watkins and Jeannie Bratton, are recommending the employment of Tracy Garrett as a kindergarten special co-taught teacher for the 23-24 school year. Approval is recommended pending the submission of the required paperwork.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Any discussion?
Sorry, I'm just trying to slow you down. Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
Aye.
Stacy.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Okay, 8I2, employment of fifth grade special education co-taught teacher for the 23-24 school year.
Below, you have received detailed information about this item. Administration is prepared to make recommendations or hold for an executive session. GCSD9 administration and the interview committee, consisting of Nikki Watkins and Steve Mathis, are recommending the employment of Scott Poppy, I think that's how you pronounce it, as the fifth grade special education co-taught teacher at Grigsby Intermediate School for the 23-24 school year. Approval is recommended pending the submission of paperwork.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Can I ask, will he be moving around from one fifth grade to another as he junior? How will that work?
He's a co-taught teacher. He'll be
So-
teaching with another teacher.
So he teaches with another teacher and
And does some, and then some resources.
in some resource, yes. Oh, there's some resource.
Thank you.
Roll call?
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
Aye.
Stacy.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye. 8I3, employment of a special education teacher at Granite City High School for the 23-24 school year.
Below, you have received detailed information about this item. The administration is prepared to make recommendations or hold for discussion in executive session. GCSD9 administration and the interview committee consisting of Nikki Watkins, Steve Mathis, and Deborah Mills are recommending the employment of Margaret Gunn as a special education teacher at Granite City High School for the 23-24 school year. Approval is recommended pending the submission of required paperwork.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a point of order question, so I wanna make sure I'm doing a good job, okay? Since Talon is the president, am I supposed to say him last, or do I just go in regular order?
Just rotate the order.
Regular order, thank you. I'm learning as I go. Okay. Bradley.
Aye.
Stacy.
Aye.
Knoble.
Aye.
Vinnie. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Alright.
All right. 8I4, the employment of 7th grade science teacher at Coolidge Junior High School for the 23-24 school year.
Below, you have received detailed information about this item. Administration is prepared to make recommendations or to hold for discussion in executive session. GCSD9 administration and the interview committee consisting of Kristen Navassis-Caverna, Executive Director of Curriculum and Professional Development, Coolidge Principal Patrick Curry, Assistant Principal Mike Dowdy, Alex Scholl, and Department Chair Tony Dodd is recommending the employment of Amy Ori as a 7th grade science teacher at Coolidge Junior High School for the 23-24 school year. Approval is recommended pending the submission of the required paperwork.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Stacy.
Aye.
Knoble.
Aye.
Vinnie. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
Aye.
Okay. 8I5, employment of ESL bilingual teacher for the 23-24 school year.
Below, you have received detailed information about this item. The administration is prepared to make recommendations or hold for discussion in executive session. GCSD9 administration, the interview committee consisting of Kristen Navassis-Caverna, Principal Dr. Liz Niefert, ESL Department Chair Stacy Swingler, are recommending the employment of Caitlin Knoll as an ESL bilingual teacher for the 23-24 school year. Approval is recommended pending the submission of required paperwork.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I'm thrilled.
Can I
know?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
So am I.
this is,
It's hard to find, this position with this certification, so they said that.
but again, I'd like to mention that all of these people have gone through an extensive
Oh,
interview
gosh.
process that is, very, you know, carefully done, and I know that these are the people that are gonna do the best job.
We are so happy to have them on board.
Knoble.
Aye.
Vinnie. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
Aye.
Stacy.
Aye.
Okay, now this, we're in new business?
There's no old business.
Yeah, no old business. So, new business, 10A, actions of the Region 1 Board.
The administration is requesting ratification of the following actions of the Region 1 Board meeting on May 10th, 2023. Regarding the selection of Region 1 officers, the Region 1 Board voted to retain the current Region 1 Board members, the same as the 23-24 school year. They are Chairman Tisha Glasper, Vice Chairman Sonia Broders, and Secretary Becky Bash. Regarding FY24 Directors Conference, the Region Board approved sending a Special Education Administrators and Finance Secretary to the ISBE FY24 Directors Conference. The date is to be determined pending ISBE notification. All costs will be billed to member districts with the Granite City using IDEA grant parking funds. Regarding the joint agreement, 23-24 budget, resolution and publication, and notice in the newspaper. Region 1 approved placing an advertisement in a local newspaper for the resolution related to the preparation and publication notice of public hearing for the Region 1 23-24 school budget. Regarding the designation of depositories for FY24, the Region 1 Board approved the Granite City School District to adopt a resolution authorizing the investment of Region 1 funds, designating depositories for the FY24 school year. It is recommended the Board ratify the actions of Region 1 Board in regard to items 1 through 4.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Vinnie. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Knoble.
Aye.
And 10B, the creation of special education teacher position.
We've received detailed information about this item. Administration is prepared to make recommendations or hold for discussion in executive session. We did speak about this last time about the possible need for that fourth.
I was gonna say, this is the
This
fourth.
is the fourth, we didn't know, but now with the numbers in, it appears that special education services were bound by certain laws and requirements. So we're respectfully seeking permission to create one new special education teacher position for the 23-24 school year at the elementary level. Approval is recommended.
And you're going to post it if it's
Yes, we're
approved?
gonna post, Jim, as soon as we're.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
What type of, I know it's an elementary, is this a co-teaching, is this a
It's a
resource?
co-teaching.
Co-teaching,
Co-teaching.
okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Roll call.
Benny, aye. Curran?
Aye.
Silva?
Aye.
Bradley? Aye. Stacy?
Aye.
Noble?
Aye.
Okay, 10C, the addition of Illinois Center for Autism Classroom at Prather Elementary Education Center for the 23-24 school year.
This is really kind of amazing. The administration is requesting approval to lease a fifth classroom to the Illinois Center for Autism at Prather School to expand our locally based autistic program to accommodate the increased number of elementary age students. We've seen a large increase, and to be able to address those increases and to give these kids the services they need, this is a great opportunity for us. The program will be operated as the other classrooms at Maryville, Grigsby, Coolidge, and the high school. Cost savings will be realized due to decreased transportation expense. We don't have to ship them somewhere else for services. We can keep them with us, which is best. Along with the receipt of lease payments for 5 classrooms, and then they hire the teachers, they don't go through us, so the numbers go down. So approval is recommended. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mickey and I did go over the existing contract already. It's just an additional room. It's under the same terms and conditions of the original contract.
How long does that contract last?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like a year,
1 year.
annual, or?
Yeah, it is.
They're 1 year
contract.
contracts.
1 year contract?
So if the numbers are different, then we don't have a teacher.
Roll call.
Silva?
Aye.
Bradley? Aye. Stacy?
Aye.
Noble?
Aye.
Benny? Aye. Curran?
Aye. And 10D, recess duty teachers for Grigsby Intermediate School.
I'm going to explain a little background on this. I think it was 2 years ago, the state required recess at different levels for different times. 5th grade is a part of that. We currently don't do that at Grigsby, so it's something that we need to incorporate. I think it's really good for kids too. So Grigsby Intermediate School does not currently offer recess for its students. Aside from the physical benefits of recess, studies show that the recess students are more attentive in class, perform better cognitively, and have fewer behavioral problems. Recess is an opportunity for cognitive brain breaks, development of problem solving, and social emotional skills, exploration, and free play, all of which are critical factors in adolescent brain development. Representatives of the Teachers Union at Grigsby Intermediate surveyed current teaching staff. 92% were in favor of the students having recess. To have the people we need, the 1 year's cost with benefits is approximately $68,820. There will be a part-time lunch monitor, resigned several weeks ago. This position is proven difficult to fill. Building administrators will be covering this. 6 lunches, each lunch would have 4 teachers on duty, with 2 teachers supervising the first 15 minutes, and other teachers supervising the second 15 minutes. Instructional time is protected in this model. The structure would allow duty teachers an opportunity to still address self-care necessities such as the restroom, etc. Students would then be supervised in the cafeteria for the entirety 30-minute lunch period in the event of inclement weather. Is there anything, Mr. Mathis, you would like to add to this?
After looking at the schedule today, the structure is going to be slightly different than what you just read aloud,
Oh,
but it's
okay.
it'll mirror more closely to how we do elementary times at the elementaries, where we'll move them through. If 400 kids get fed in an hour, 800 kids can get fed in 2 hours. So it's going to more closely model what we do at the elementary level. But yeah, the research is all in the favor of this. 92% of staff are in support of that. It's hard to find 92% of people agree on anything right now. The benefits outweigh the cost. So,
I agree.
our humbly requested.
Can you give me an idea, how will they be supervised or encouraged to play or act?
At
You know,
that age,
run or
at
play
that age level,
baseball?
it's more the time traditionally where you'd move them off the playground, so it'll be more like more sports equipment, more balls, more of the field. There's logistic things that work out. Right now, if they break them from recess, they take them into the area, the courtyard at the front of the school. That's an option for some days, but we're hoping more to have more ball play in the grass, get them out more. When it's wet, or if it's going to be slightly inclement, maybe we move to that courtyard space where it's more confined. But I think if you give them more areas, to explore. And hopefully it learns that they can develop how to invent games themselves as well. I think my own children benefit from more time outside too. I think it's just something that kids kind of lost in this gap. So it's a problem solving. It's a time to problem solve, and just unstructured play is beneficial for brain development as well.
I think that's why the state put these regulations out too, requiring that too. But you know, we don't have it in high school.
There still needs to be outside and run off of that.
Oh, you're gonna hear about it,
I'm
right?
disappointed when it's grade and there's no
I
recess.
know, like,
That's a shock.
well, that's a shock, but that's why I think the state has made sure, I think that that's good for all children.
Not to be a stickler, but we need to have a motion before we discuss.
Yes.
Sorry.
I'm also the parliamentarian, so.
Good job.
There you go.
I move to approve.
Second.
All right, then I have some questions too. So, this is titled under recess duty, but this effectively is expanding your recess/lunch supervision, correct?
Currently, there is no recess. Currently, the recess
Yeah.
duty being performed was by a part-time.
Right.
Right. So yes, it is expanding what's offered, but it just includes teacher supervision.
And with the 15 and 15, am I right to assume that it's 15
It's
minutes
going to
of
be.
lunch
It's
and
going to
15
wind up being
minutes
30,
recess?
and we're going to pair it with a plan period that mirrors the elementary level.
Okay, all right, I just want to make sure.
Yep. So it's going to mirror everything that we already do.
They did a great job of doing this creatively.
Mr. Suri is a big help in that.
I told you.
Completely developmentally appropriate, like you said earlier, the 5th and 6th graders, they fall through the cracks, and we have to stop treating children as adults.
As adults, because they're.
Yeah, so I think it's great.
Being improving in the cafeteria there.
Oh, yes, exactly, that's what it is.
I did that several times.
Right, right. Right. And with that lady resigning too, there was no.
I needed some time outside.
That person goes, I mean, I spent several years there.
So do I need to read over the current language? Do I don't?
No.
Approval is approved, right?
Yeah, roll call.
Sorry, one more question. So with like it mirroring more the elementary, the cost is still the same?
Yes.
Okay, so we can, all right, Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Knoble.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Okay, 10E, Granite City High School intercom replacement.
This is weird.
Dang.
This is way overdue, I'm sure they will all tell you.
Retire with Mr. DePue, huh?
I know.
All right.
So GCS Intercom is the largest replacement to the district-wide intercom system. With this intercom system though, which is really amazing, we'll be able to communicate with all schools from the administration building. So if there is a safety issue, Mr. Brand and I just talked about this today, we can make the call to all the schools. We can have communication from here, which I think
So you would be able to call the other schools as well,
Yes.
they already have this system?
Yes. Right, Eric?
Yeah, this is,
Moving away with the cannons.
the last
Right.
one will be,
Right.
Lake. That will be the last intercom to complete the system to where we'll be able to communicate with everybody.
And the replacement cost is $46,825. Like I said, it's district-wide, it's the biggest building, money well spent. Approval is recommended.
Absolutely.
So
For our
moved.
safety,
Second.
their safety.
As far as discussion, hey, Eric, would this one be like, down the road, easy to add on to, like if we wanted speakers outside?
We ran into that, as far as the addition, I forget how many rooms there are there. We have extra ports for more rooms, or we did that with all the buildings. One building we had to take parts off of because it was new and we had an older one, so we were able to interchange. So parts are readily available, everything's interchangeable with these.
Cool.
I got one question, it's a little off the line of that, but the telephone systems here, anybody know how old they are? Because I don't know about anybody else, but sometimes it's so hard to understand people talking on the phone. It seems to me that they're pretty antiquated. the
Yeah,
phone systems.
that's.
They're all IP phones, which they're within the last probably 10 years at least.
Is that right? Okay.
So this system that we're voting on right now is more like a PA system,
Yes.
not so much an intercom like
No,
directional communication?
it's still an intercom, but
Okay.
it's gonna have a function on that intercom system that we will be able to pick up our telephone and it's gonna be able to communicate with all buildings
Everyone.
at one time. Or go to an individual building and communicate over the loudspeaker.
Yeah. Yeah, and then within the building, they can communicate out to everyone as well. The teachers in a classroom can still communicate to the office.
That log gets gone through, so all the panic buttons are checked, all the speakers in the rooms are checked, everything is brought up to working order.
And we really need that.
And there is not, like, aside from office communication, there's not like room to room. So for example, like,
No,
that would
there
play more into the phones and stuff. Okay, good. I just want to be clear on what we were voting on.
It gives a different level of communication that we haven't had in session proceeding.
Okay. Roll call?
Stacy.
Aye.
Knoble.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva. Aye. Bradley. Aye.
And 10F, District 3-year trash bid.
I know. The GCSD9 administration requested the BOE award waste management services, the 3-year trash bid from 7/1/23 to 6/30/26 due to the low bid specifications. Waste management came in at $42,130.92, while Public Services came in at $56,428.56, with an additional 7% increase each year starting in 7/1/24. And Aspen did not provide it. So approval of waste management is recommended.
So moved. Second?
So, just clarifying here, so waste management will be that same price all 3 years?
Yes.
Yes.
No increase?
Yes.
Okay.
Roll call?
Knoble.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva. Aye. Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Okay, 10G, playground fence for Maryville, Wilson, and Mitchell.
Okay, the detailed information about this item is below. Administration is prepared to make recommendations or to hold a discussion in executive session. This is pretty exciting. The playground fence will be a black 4-foot chain link fence that will encompass the playgrounds at Maryville, Wilson, and Mitchell schools. See, Lisa, you're finally getting the fence.
That's what I was just saying.
I knew she would.
When I left.
We tried. It will include a 4-foot gate and a service gate at each location. This will block traffic from entering the playgrounds. This will also include a white 6-foot vinyl fence to shield the gas meters. See photos below, you have those. We did receive some money for our cell tower that we're getting every year annually that will help offset these expenses, which I really like as well. So Maryville's $35,350, Wilson $52,250, it's just a much larger area in the back. Mitchell $32,500 with a total of $120,100, and approval is recommended.
So moved.
Second?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So how many schools are gonna have these fences then at this time?
Right now.
Once we get these three done?
Oh, you mean, which ones already have them? High school is partially done, Coolidge is partially, almost, Coolidge is.
Coolidge is basically completed. What we did here is, just to get an idea, these schools have a combination of playground and traffic. So they have cars entering the playground, dropping parents, or dropping kids off buses going in there. So we wanted to stop those first. We're gonna see if this works real good. And then our next, we're looking at drive or drop off like in Frohart. So we're really unsure where that fence is gonna go. Looking at Prather, we might be able to get by with some gates on the playground to block off all the fence. And then look at maybe putting gates up on the Elks where they have a bar gate. We might look at maybe just putting a gate there, like cost savings instead of cutting everything off. So we're still looking into all those options.
Right.
So these three were the ones we wanted to hit first.
Sounds good.
Because Wilson has that giant like drive all along where the kids are out playing, it just makes me nervous. And really, at Mitchell, if they tried hard enough, they could get almost to the highway ramp.
They've done it before.
So, yeah, so that was, those were, really emergency situation, and with Maryville, there's just traffic flowing. So those are way from,
Yeah, but we walked through one of the schools.
Oh,
I remember it was, the example was like, sometimes you have a kid who's here, and now they want to be over there.
Oh, yeah,
And
with Wilson,
so
where they could escape from the
it
traffic.
slows them down a bit, so that, you know,
So the
somebody can
runners
catch
are
up.
kind of affected?
That's a layer.
Right, that was
Well,
my question, how, maybe it was discussed before, for like Prather with the littlest ones, but if it's more traffic, because other villages have roads that go around them.
That's right. And they kind of sit back, and we have the soccer field usually, and there are fences that are already there, so, right, so that's where we're starting, and they've done a great job already, so. Approval is recommended.
So moved.
We already
We already
got
got
one.
one.
And your pictures are all back there.
Stacy, made the motion and Knoble seconds.
Roll call.
Denny, aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
Aye.
Stacy.
Aye.
Knoble.
Aye.
Yeah. 10H,
We've received detailed information about this item below. Administration is prepared to make recommendations or hold for discussion. It is discipline of employee, what we just want.
Yeah, I mean, the board is being asked to approve the discipline of 1 day without pay for district employee named under separate cover.
So moved.
Second.
roll call.
Denny, aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Knoble.
Aye.
Okay, 10I, consolidated district plan approval.
Sure, the State Board of Education is is continuing for FY 2022. Should that be 22, 23? 23, 24? 24. The requirement of a consolidated district plan, this is something every district has to do online. They have to fill out the sections and needs if we've been working on it. Those have to be filled out before we can ensure our grant funding, including Title I, II, III, ESSA funding, IDEA, Part B flow through, Perkins grant, TAOP, all those grants. In order to receive those, we have to have the consolidated district plan finished. All of the departments collaborated on this and we're ready to submit, but we have to have board approval first.
So moved.
Second. Can you clarify to
Yeah.
the viewers,
This
like
line
the
down
components of
Yeah.
a consolidated plan versus a strategic plan?
Oh, it's completely different. It has needs assessment, it has, I just printed some, there's all kinds of things we have to go through. They have sections on needs assessment, preschool coordination, professional development, college and career readiness, safe learning environments, Title I specific pages, the IDEA grant specific requirements, assurance pages that we have to use through insurance, stakeholders, private school participation, those are all included as first as we have to do that.
It sounds like really like consolidated
I
district
know.
plan,
It
so
really
make
is
sure
hard.
everybody understands that that is not the strategic plan, we're
No,
not jumping and
no.
trying to scoot
This
that
one gets a lot
through.
more into
But
it.
it does.
This is really for the logistics of being able to apply for grants, that we send every year.
It needs to be submitted again for the 23-24 school year. This is the 23-24.
No, we're
No,
about to,
we're
we're wrapping up 22,
That's what
22,
that
yes,
is.
the,
Okay.
for next year.
But I just went through all those and making sure.
Yep,
It's all in my brain.
so we have a vote, or a
Yeah.
motion,
Approval is
Stacy and
recommended.
Bradley seconded.
Any more discussion?
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
Aye.
Stacy.
Aye.
Knoble.
Aye.
Denny, aye. Curran.
Aye. And 10J, IHSA membership renewal for the 23-24 school year.
This is something we do every year. The administration requests authorization for renew our membership with the Illinois High School Association for the 23-24 school year. There is no cost. Approval is recommended. If we don't have that, we can't be replaced boards.
Right.
Silva moves, Denny seconds.
Any discussion? Okay. Roll call.
Bradley.
Aye.
Stacy.
Aye.
Knoble.
Aye.
Denny, aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Okay, 10K, designation of depositories.
I'll read this. If you have any questions, we can accept. Attached is a resolution designating depositories for the Granite City School District. This resolution should be filed each year so the district's administration may deposit and or invest district funds with and through a variety of institutions to obtain the highest monetary return on our district investments, consistent with investments authorized by the law. It is recommended that the board adopt the resolution authorizing the investment of district funds and Region 1 funds as presented and authorize the necessary signatures.
And there are,
This,
It's something we do.
this one is for Granite City. We'll do another resolution for Region 1.
Okay. So
There's two different
it's
resolutions.
in here.
Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah, so we're going to go on both tonight.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
okay.
thought we were together.
We need to vote on them separately.
Separate.
Yes.
We have to vote
Vote
separately.
Yeah.
Two votes,
So-
one for district and one
Okay,
for
so
region.
this one is Granite City.
Yeah, just approval for Granite City and then approval of Region 1.
Move to approve for Granite City.
Second.
So moved.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Stacy.
Aye.
Knoble.
Aye.
Denny, aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
Aye.
Okay, and then Region 1 designation of depositories.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
1 second. Okay, Stacy.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Benny, aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
Okay, 10L, breakfast after the bell cost analysis.
I'm just gonna read this first part, the rest of it is included in your packet. In reviewing possible changes required to implement the breakfast after the bell program, the administration manager provided the board with the cost analysis. The analysis figures are based on 2 delivery models, provide breakfast in the cafeteria in a similar setup to the current lunch delivery model, an additional hour, provide breakfast in the classroom and consumed at the student's desk, a half an additional hour. There are 4 possible items of economic impact identified after reviewing program requirements. This is something, we're not taking anything away from anyone. This is, Zach, do you want to it's just
This is for information only to meet the requirements to hold the public hearing at the next one.
And it's all listed.
Everybody eats.
Yes,
I promise.
free lunch and
Everybody
breakfast
eats.
for everyone. We just don't do it in the middle of class. They can go in. If a child is late, we do make sure that they have.
Yeah, this just lays out the cost analysis that would prove that it would be very costly for the school district
And I think
to implement.
Do we vote on an analysis or is it just?
No,
it's
for
just
information only.
purposes only.
Okay, then, moving on, 10M, District 9 budget, amended budget resolution and publication of notice in newspaper.
Do we need to, it's all in front of you. The task of preparing the amended budget is assigned to the same person or persons by the Board of Education. Its responsibility is designated Zach Surrey, Director of Finance. The board is only approving when the budget will be placed on display, when the notice will appear in the newspaper, and when the budget hearing will be held. It is recommended the board adopt the resolution and authorize the necessary signatures.
Do we have a motion?
Second.
And then, any more discussion on that? Okay, roll call.
Noble.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Okay, 10N, Illinois Energy Consortium Natural Gas Resolution.
Authorization is requested to approve the resolution to join the Illinois Energy Consortium for natural gas. This would allow us to lock in a rate and time frame that work the best for the district, and will bring all electricity and gas service to one contract. Zach looked over all this is the best way for us to go. We looked at different options.
We're just trying to get everything back under one and then go from there. This is just to get us to where we know where we are.
Right. Authorization is recommended.
So moved.
Second.
Any more discussion? Actually, I wanted to say too, I didn't thank him yet, but Zach got me some numbers on the solar panels. For those who are curious, they have saved us 6 figures
Yes.
at this point, so that was a question that came up at one point. So, yeah, they're doing what they're supposed to.
I know some community members were concerned about the grass. I talked to Eric about that, and he's been on them because they're responsible for taking care of the grass and stuff.
That goes back.
Thank you for staying on them.
We've been staying on them for years.
Yeah.
It's been
So
challenging.
I think it's gonna be, what, 20 years we're gonna be on them?
Yeah, but I mean on the people who are from
the
original solar people that are supposed to be taking care
Yeah,
of the
they
properties.
contract the grass mowing out to an individual, and they get a little lax this time of year, so we'll get on them. He promised me that they would be spraying, the fence lines and cleaning them up, so fingers crossed.
Okay.
Eric, wasn't it a type of grass that was not supposed to grow all, that they planted underneath those?
No, they
or that was
didn't,
what we were
plant
told?
anything, no, none of that. Everything they told, prior sales pitch, I don't think it happened.
Okay. Roll call.
Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva. Aye. Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Okay, 10O, Finance and Human Resources Renewal.
Authorization is requested to renew the agreement for the 23-24 school year with Tyler Technologies for the Infinite Visions Finance Human Resources System. An annual support agreement is required for updates, including state-mandated changes and technical support. The software is used by all administration and administrative assistants for finance and HR processes. All staff members also have online access to paid time off and contract information. The renewal had been budgeted for the 23-23 school year at a cost of $102,003.30. Approval is recommended. Questions, Brad? Anything you want to add?
Nope, I think it's just something we use every year.
Yes.
Something we can't really get away from. So all the processes for finance, human resources, payroll, POs, anything that has to do with district funds use this system. So.
In HR. With all
Yeah,
the
HR, all anything with employees.
So moved.
Second.
I have another question. Does iVisions offer anything in terms of like throughout the hiring process, like for applications, like like Frontline, for example, you can have that as an HR management, like for people already hired, but also for application submission.
Like an extra module.
Jim, do you want to address that we've been looking at those?
It does work with
It
additional
has that
front-end
totally
products,
choose that
yes.
option?
They don't have their own.
Yeah.
They do work with ASAP.
Oh, so it
or
works with like
the
ASAP.
Frontline, yep.
Frontline is what
Yep.
we've gone over. How many have we looked at now, Jim? 4, 3?
3 or 4.
3 or 4 of those programs to try to get that.
Yeah, 102,000 sounds like a lot when you break it down per employee.
And trying to keep track of all those days off.
They
is
host
all
it
mine.
too.
They host it too.
Yeah, it's hosted by them now instead of us. So.
Okay. Is there an opportunity in iVisions like for automatic sub generation, like your subs are, again, I'm speaking from frontline experience, so like, let's say I'm a teacher, I'm gonna be out sick, I put it in, and iVisions can contact subs, or is that still what it has to go through HR department?
They do work with third-party modules for that also. They have,
Which is why we're looking at.
they have their own. It's not their own proprietary. It's
Yeah.
another company they work with.
So you'd
that
rather
we're
just
gonna
pick one?
demo that also, but they do interact with other modules.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, Frontline seems to be the most compatible, correct, with iVisions. Is that where we are right now, guys? Mr. Sir, Mr. Parker?
Probably. We still have to review the one that they
We have
use.
one more, right?
Okay. Roll call.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
Aye.
Stacy.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye. 10P, Madison County CTE System Intergovernmental Agreement.
Authorization is requested to renew the Madison County CTE Career Technical Education Governmental Agreement for the 23-24 school year. This is an updated version to replace the out-of-date information. Caleb Smith with the Madison County Training and Employment he's phenomenal. And he has just looked over this, updated it, made it more correct. So this is just us replacing that governmental agreement. Approval is recommended.
So moved.
Second?
Any more discussion? Okay, roll call.
Bradley.
Aye.
Stacy.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
10Q, request to intervene in appeal proceeding at the Property Tax Appeal Board, PTAB, NP Edwardsville LLC.
This is GCSD9 administration requests that the board approve the attached resolution so that District Attorney Tom Schooley can intervene on the Property Tax Appeal Board with regard to an appeal by the NP Edwardsville LLC at address 1 Gateway Commerce Drive, West Edwardsville, Illinois. Anything you want to add to that, Tom?
No, for the new board members, these are the one of the warehouses on Pontoon Beach. They've appealed their property tax assessment to PTAB, and for us to defend our position, we have to file the resolution. At the time I filed my petition.
Saved us money by doing that as well, so.
Yeah.
Didn't we do this last year too?
Yeah.
Tom, you
Yes.
did it last year?
And because PTAB is about 92,000 cases behind in the docket, we're seeing these go on for years now. But
Oh, wow.
we should get notices. I mean, I think this is probably the 3rd or 4th year that we're having to do this before we get a hearing on the original one 4 years ago. So,
And Edwardsville goes in with us on this?
some of the warehouses,
Some of
yes.
them are
The city of Edwardsville has annexed down the bluff into the warehouse district, as so has the school district. And so, yes, we have an agreement with them that we split the appraisal cost and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. And approval is recommended.
Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Stacy.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
Aye.
Okay, 10R, recommendation for the GCSD9 Student Advisory School Board Member for the 23-24 school year.
The Student School Board Member Committee consisting of BOE members, Ms. Erica Vinnie, Mr. Don Linneman, Superintendent Stephanie Kean, GCHS Principal Mr. Jerry Depew, and Ms. Christine Rowe, Assistant Principal, interviewed applicants at Granite City High School for this position. The committee is recommending Ms. Anna Forbes to serve as the student board member to serve in this advisory capacity during her senior year at Granite City High School 23-24. Approval is recommended.
So moved.
Second.
You know, it'd be pretty bad if we.
Yeah, runner up, we passed the torch.
I got photos too. I got photos.
It's official. Oh, really, we don't.
I got
Leave
photos.
those photos, Chris.
It's on the video.
We call that Facebook Live, it's Facebook official.
Oh, that's right, that's right.
All right, roll call. Well, do we just need to?
Thank you.
Acclamation.
Acclamation, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I would like to say that Anna is a great person to choose for this. I've worked with her in many leadership positions, and she's been my co-captain for this past year on the speech and acting team. And I'm happy to have passed the torch to her because I know she's going to do great things. So, proud of you, Anna.
Very nice, very nice.
10R, the recommendation for the GCSD9 student. That's 10S1. Extend the term of Miss Vic employee benefits pool.
I'm just gonna give this one to Zach to explain more quickly than I can.
We are members of MISFIC, which is the insurance, our health insurance and our property casualty insurance. This just extends the term for an additional year, so we always have 3 years forward, and it designates the voting members, who are myself and Mr. Parker.
And we have to do all.
And we have to do this in order to.
All 4 items don't require a motion.
That's why they're numbered.
To stay in the pool,
Okay. Okay.
which we would recommend.
So do you want us to tell me we just vote, we approve that one?
Yeah, we'll just do one at a time.
So moved.
We need a vote on this, right?
Yeah, we need separate votes for each 4 items.
Yeah.
So this one's for the benefits pool board member.
This one, yes, extend
Right.
term of this
Extend.
vehicle,
Okay, got it.
employee benefits pool.
We need a roll call vote, right?
Yeah.
Vinnie, aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Noble. Aye.
Okay. Yeah, XS2, appoint Miss Vic property employee benefits pool board members.
So this one will be to appoint Ms. Vic employee benefit pool board members. So moved.
Second.
So we got some motion and a second, any discussion? Go ahead, roll call.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Noble. Aye. Vinnie. Aye. Curran.
Aye. And then 10S3, extend the term of Miss Vic property casualty pool.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Noble. Aye. Vinnie. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
And 10S4, appoint Miss Vic property casualty pool board members.
So moved.
Do we need to say who they are? Yeah. In this case, the board members are Zach Surrey as a voting member and Jim Parker as alternate.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Stacy.
Aye.
Noble. Aye. Vinnie. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye.
Okay, 11D, Freedom of Information Act request.
We received one request under the Freedom of Information Act during the period of April 19, 23 through May 16, 23. The first request was received on May 10th from Vince Espy of Local Labs, requested the following information: copies of all records and email correspondence with Children's Hospital, Lurie Children's Hospital from July 1st, 2022 to the present day. This request was handled very well by Mr. Mitchell. Thank you.
Okay. And then 11E is a request to appeal alternative education placement.
This is under, the students are named under separate cover. They're presented to the board for discipline. Approval is recommended. The hearing was held on May 2nd, 2023. Dr. Keel and Ms. Dottie Fulcher was the hearing officer.
So the approval being recommended is to uphold the decision,
Yes.
not to grant the appeal.
That's correct.
Okay. So moved.
Second.
Discussion on this one. Roll call.
Hold on a second,
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead.
Okay, so who seconded Noble? Okay. And I don't know what order I'm supposed to go, because my own things aren't here, I'll just spell it. Stacy.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
Aye.
Let's see.
Okay, so 11F, expulsion of Granite City High School student 1.
The students are named under separate cover, presented to the board office for discipline. This is to uphold the expulsion of the GCHS student. The hearing was held on May 2nd, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Noble.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
Aye.
Do I get the vote?
Stacy?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm flying blind right now, I'm so sorry. I know you're trying to know.
11G, the expulsion of Granite City High School student 2.
The student is named under separate cover below, and presented to the board for discipline to uphold the expulsion of the student. The hearing was held on May 17th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Benny, aye. Curran.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
Aye.
Stacy.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
And 11H, expulsion of Granite City High School student 3.
The students named below under separate cover are presented to the board for discipline. The hearing was held on May 17th, 2023. Approval is recommended to uphold this expulsion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Noble. Aye. Benny. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
I just wanted to ask a question. In all cases here, the services will be rendered to these students?
Yes, they review it.
If they're available.
Is there, I think
That is correct, but I think we've got it figured out to where we have the space to take care of that, yes.
We do. Do you know, Dr. Keeler, any of the parents available?
They are not.
Okay, so.
They are not here.
Okay. And if, so we are
It's
hoping.
mine, if I could bring up one of you.
Okay.
Well, we're
Let's
in-
see.
On the agenda for executive session, first one.
Are you wanting it for the executive session? Or
No, not necessarily.
Under new business.
under new business?
Oh, so before we do executive session.
Okay.
If that's
so-
okay. I just wanted to thank everybody for the documents that I requested last time. I got, the chain of command for the district, which was interesting. I had just a question as far as it didn't go down to like principals. And I just wondered who the principals report to, the building principals.
I can clarify that.
That would be great, yeah.
You have to, correct.
Okay, and also, the safety director and vocational director was not on that list, and I don't know who covers buses on there either. Okay, so if we could double check
Get you
that.
up to date one.
Okay, all right, and then, we had, the district-wide survey results, which I thought were very interesting, and I would like to know if we could like get copies for everybody else on board.
I
so
just
that
have
they
to
can
ask,
see
because
those.
it's proprietary to Insight Group that did this
Okay.
strategic planning, so I'll have to verify that through them.
Okay.
That's why it's so small, because we weren't really supposed to disseminate them. So I'll
Okay.
make sure of that.
Okay, it was just interesting for me to see
Sure.
some of the responses, so that
But
would be
they
great.
did it, so I'll have, it's
Okay.
proprietary.
Okay, another thing was, evaluations and contracts. I I think that that's something that we should look at it in executive session. That was recommended, so at the next meeting, if we could have those available to look at in executive session, that would be great. Administrators, just administrators, for the last 3 years. Also, had another question, the committee, minutes, those were great. I did, bring up last time at the meeting about, some community concerns about residency. And I know that, on one of the policy meetings, from December 15th, 2021, Christina Smith brought up the question too, in regards to student residency. It said she would like the policy to be stricter. She compared our policy to area schools and feels ours needs to be stricter. Prior to this policy change, affidavits were required to be notarized, and that's no longer required. Superintendent Can stated that was first time she heard about the problem and said it would be addressed. Has that been addressed?
We are working on affidavits for this year especially, Brad's.
Being notarized?
Well, I don't know about being notarized, there would be, how many do we have?
And again, you gotta be careful about notarized affidavits because the overriding policy is to enroll the student. Get the student in
So it would be a
school.
policy
And
issue.
putting obstacles in the way have been held to be invalid, but I can check on that.
Okay, what about just re-registering everybody like every few years, set 4 years or something? I mean, somebody could live here and move to Edwardsville, but still be sending our students here to school when they should be going to the school in the district where they live.
They have to have residency requirements, paperwork when they come in to register. So, I mean, that's what the affidavits we're working on, are doing more of that. They go through the whole registration process in student services, and they have to provide proof of residency. Now, the Weekend Evento Act has gone into effect.
Right, that's if somebody says that they're homeless.
Right, and so,
Right.
exactly, then we have no option.
So
We
Laura,
have to
if
provide that.
I'm hearing you correctly, I think you're saying like, yeah, we have that when they initially register, but you don't have to prove residency after that, like
Right.
year to year.
So
So
if
you're
you
saying like they
move-
show all their paperwork when they first register, but then they might move, but they're not showing residency.
Which I think we know happens a lot. I mean, not just, I'm sure not
That's what
just in
it
our
is.
district, but every district.
And we can put blocks on them if we know, if someone lets us know, we put a block on, like we did that last week. We found out when we put a block on them and they have to come back in. So, and if we have any issue with, an address that's coming back return mail, they put blocks on them as well. So anything we get back, like if we get any mail or we found out phone numbers, those immediately we put blocks on them, they have to come back in and prove their residency.
I just have had a lot of reports that there are students coming here from other districts that.
So Tom, I have a question that I think that you'll be able to answer better than most. If I say I'm homeless, but I live in Madison.
Again, you're homeless though, you live everywhere.
You're with someone,
Right,
you're living
so,
with
but I can
someone.
send my kid anywhere. So like if I say I'm homeless today, I can send my kid anywhere I
The
want.
last school that they were at, where they were
Yeah.
enrolled prior to homelessness. They can go there or their choice if they started.
You know, that's a tough one. You know, 'cause
I mean, I'm just asking,
If I'm living in Vandalia, but I move here and I don't have a place to stay and I'm homeless and I have children, guess what? I'm
They're
going to
coming
bring
here.
my kids here. And if you don't, I'm gonna file a complaint against McKenna Benton, you know, so.
But we also have to address their school of origin, so
Exactly.
it's not all
School
falling on
origin
our
where they
district.
started.
Right,
So.
because we need to get their records and so forth, so we need to know for sure.
If you claim
It's
homeless,
just-
what, do you have to renew that, or is it like once you're
We
homeless?
check every year.
Every year?
Once a year.
We just wanna be fair to the residents of
Oh,
the city, that
definitely.
we're not paying for an education for everybody and their brother.
Is that the same for an affidavit every year, it's renewed also?
If they have the
If they have
yes,
the
that's where the
affidavit.
blocks come
Okay.
in. And then, Mr. O'Day has done a great job on changing those affidavits and making them more stringent.
Yeah, it's just that, like I said, if somebody has registered and moved, and then we just never check again because, it never comes up, they can go here and live in Collinsville or Edwardsville, wherever. Okay, another thing that I wanted to ask was about, discipline, because that's another issue that I have heard quite a bit about from residents, because they hear about one fight and it's then they get kind of nervous about discipline. And I know myself, from experience, discipline seems to be a little inconsistent from building to building. Sometimes there's some discipline that's still in the computer. So I think, if you wouldn't mind, I would like to see a discipline report from each building, with the number of referrals that were submitted each year. And this can be done on Skyward pretty easy.
Yes, it's on Skyward.
Yeah, with the number of teacher interventions listed, principal interventions, the number of referrals that are resulting in disciplinary action, and the number of referrals that are still outstanding that have not been addressed. And since the end of school is coming, this would be a great time to do it. Also, if there's a graph that you can print out with like infraction frequency, so like if one building has an excess of cell phone discipline, they're gonna have like 20 cell phones or something, and you know, otherwise disrespect, fighting, bullying, whatever would be on the graph. So we can kind of see from building to building. And also the disciplinary action that they use. So maybe principals could say, this discipline's working better in my building, let's try doing that all around. Because being a sub-principal, you go from building to building, it's like what I issue at this building might not be different. Yes, because it's a different age, but when parents move from building to building, they're going, well, that's not what they did at the other building. And I just feel like we need to be more consistent.
Right. Well, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, but we need to be careful about the discussion of those things too.
Yes.
This is just numbers, this is not.
Yeah, we're not gonna attach any student names.
No,
to
no,
any
not at all,
discipline records.
no, just for us to
But
look at.
again, the law requires that we look at, there's no zero tolerance anymore, where if you get 5 tardies, you get 3 days ISS. There's zero tolerances out, you have to discipline each case on a case by case basis.
Exactly.
And you have to look at the number of interventions that have been applied prior to extracting the main, like an expulsion. Whenever we do expulsion hearings, I mean, we have from point A to point Z, how we got here, how many interventions, we put that all as the administrative record, whether it's his discipline record, his tardies, his attendance, his grades, his or her grades, and what sort of interventions have been applied to try to get to the root core issue of what the problem is with the student.
There's also a case by case, we don't give parents information on how we discipline their students, so we don't know how many times they've done something, what the record is. That will depend on what their discipline is as well. If they're have IEP, there's a difference, depending on what type of.
I'm not particularly interested in that. I think that sometimes some incidents get a lot of press when it may be that we have more cell phone incidents in schools than we have of other things, and I want people to realize that. You know, when we have fights, we may not have many fights at all, but of course they're gonna be the ones that people talk about or get in the
I wish I had a nickel for every time Mr. Depew or any of the principals have said, oh, we do a ton of dispute resolution. That is short of me seeing the student and actually, being
principal
objective
intervention,
about
teacher intervention or principal, right,
So I mean,
exactly.
it's a major problem with not only our school district, but with every school district in this state.
Right, and then, if the principals could look at this information and then kind of like set up a plan for the next year, how they would, address this discipline, I think that would be helpful too.
Well, and then, some of this stuff we can, we can actually get it in the agenda.
That'd be
too.
great.
Like, I mean, if
It would be
you
better.
email me and Stephanie or whoever,
Okay.
and then we'll hit it back,
Yeah.
like in the next meeting.
It can
We'll hit
be
it
like,
in
that'd be
pictures
good.
and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds great, okay.
But to just come up with, at this time, it seems like it's really inappropriate. It seems like it should be on the agenda. Every item that you mentioned on the agenda, and you can do that with the superintendent in her office.
Okay.
And it'll be right there for you to
Perfect.
and we'll have it in open discussion.
Okay, very
Okay.
good, very
Thank
good.
you.
It's just community, that concerns, and I just wanted to bring them up so that,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
we get those things
We'll
on
get
there,
them
so,
on.
okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay, and then so we won't have executive session today, I think we're gonna address one
Policy.
issue.
Oh, no, we have to have the policy meeting. We'll definitely have a policy meeting in June.
Okay.
There were no executive session minutes last meeting either, so no reason to approve. Setting of the agenda, our next board meeting is June 27th, 2023.
There's presentations.
Oh, we do have presentations. I do have.
No, I do not have a presentation.
Will you present me on air?
No.
We're starting with, are they somewhere, where are they listed again?
It's under 11, item 11.
Should have been done before any of these.
Oh, okay, they just weren't. Oh, they're just on here. Okay, sorry. I knew they were here. I just. Okay, so we'll start with the environmental. Oh, yeah, didn't have the thing. Mine did. We started with, on ours, we started with D. We didn't have A through C.
Yeah.
Right.
It was in my other one, but it was.
So yeah, so we do have an environmental club presentation from Granite City High School students. Marina. How do you say that? Marina, thank you. Great, Rob.
Okay, come on up, guys. Sorry about that. You probably like to take the whole board meeting.
Since I didn't see it on there, I was actually really interested in what we're doing.
Let me make some more space.
Okay, you ready? Here's a.
So this is going to be our proposal for the environmental club for this upcoming school year.
Okay, so with this club, we would like to implement more eco-friendly and sustainable products in the cafeteria and school grounds cafe. Along with that, we would be responsible for picking up and cleaning our campus, which is not only important to the environment, but also to the mindsets of our students. We'd also like to get actively involved in the community with the education and cleanup of it.
We'd also want some more optional disposable waste bins like aluminum, plastic, and recycling. We could also use that to fund the club, and then we pursue planting trees, gardening, and we want to put like a plant or two in a classroom so that could educate others on their idea of conservation and just make a more positive impact for our high school.
So we believe this club is very important and vital because it's to like the health and life of communities. It's very important to keep people, especially teens, educated, interested, and active in the care and conservation of our planet. And I believe our generation can have a very big and powerful impact on it. And this slide is just discussing how we've kind of had some conversations and steps regarding certain teachers for heading towards more sustainable and just environmentally friendly things throughout the building this year.
It'll be student ran with Ms. Conley as our sponsor, and our main goal is just better educate the idea of conservation, and we're going to have a big step for student leadership, independency, and it'll just be a great pride in our community. And that's it. Do you have any questions?
Who's next? Who's next? David.
I love it. I've been trying to recycle things. Also, about 9 weeks, people have to pay to recycle. But unfortunately, a lot of nights I hate that. So I would love to have someone else help with that. Maybe we could find a way to love to. Yeah. That's a great thing. I love it. Oh, you don't think we can do that?
Next up is the MTSS presentation.
Sabrina, you want to have this up?
Yeah, I was letting it go ahead. Thank you. I don't think I want to be bored with this. On Friday, you all received a multi-tiered system of support packet. You should have in your Friday update. I wanted you to have that document. It was a fluid document that was started in 2020, and the team was listed in the front forehand of that. Since then, we've added a few more members to the team, so they've been a welcome addition as well. The slide you have before you is just a very simple slide that discusses the behavioral system and the academic system. You can see it's a 3-tiered system no matter how you look at it. You have for all in Tier 1, you have for some in Tier 2, and for a few in Tier 3. It addresses all your concerns for behavior and academics. Tonight with me, what I have is I have 2 of our interventionists that are going to discuss some wonderful things that we have put in place in this last year. They're both working at the 3-4 centers. We have Marla Miller and Billy Niebert. They're going to talk to you about data that we have employed through this MTSS system of support on the academic side. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to them. Billy and Marla.
Okay. All right, first off, thank you for having Marla and I here tonight to present and talk to you about our district's new reading interventionist positions. We'll be giving you just kind of a brief overview of what our program is about. Then we'll look at some of the data that will show you the growth we've made over the year, and it's kind of show you how we collected that data. So what we have noticed in our district is that student reading is struggling. Over the past several years, by the time students are getting to 3rd and 4th grade, we are seeing many of the foundational skills that are needed in order to read fluently and comprehend are not being mastered. So research shows that children who read slowly, by stopping to figure out words, will have difficulty comprehending text. This difficulty compounds as the students proceed to the higher grades and they read more complex texts. Ideally, students should spend most of their energy trying to understand the text or reading to learn. The district recognized this and created these 2 reading interventionist positions to help with this issue we are seeing. These new positions now allow us to work alongside with Title and get services to students who still need additional reading support that in the past they were not receiving services. So what students do we service? Many people ask. With so many struggling readers now in the 3rd and the 4th grade buildings, 2 Title teachers per building can only provide services to so many students throughout the year. Those students, the majority of the time, they need services all year long to show good growth. So there really is no time or ability to get more students the help that they need. With that, you have a large number of students who still have not mastered all of the reading skills necessary to become proficient readers. There's a large majority of students who are kind of on that bubble. These students probably needed to receive Title services, but there was just too many students below them that were already chosen for Title, and we just couldn't get to them. So with Marla and I's new positions, we're now able to service those students and get them the much needed help they need before moving on to the upper grades. In just the 2 schools alone this year, Mitchell and Frohart, Marley and I were able to service an additional 58 students at both schools who were in need of more reading instruction and help. In the past, these students would have been missed, but now they're able to receive the services that we were able to give them. We provided services to regular ed students, resource students, and ESL students. These students receive instruction 5 days a week for 25 minutes a day, totaling an additional 125 minutes a week of additional reading support. For this program being in its first year, Marla and I were very pleased with the progress and growth of the students that we provided services to. Without question, we feel they're much better readers and they're much more prepared to go to the next level. So now we've prepared just a few slides that will kind of show you the growth that our 3rd and our 4th graders made over the year. And we'll kind of also talk about and explain the assessments that we used to gather this data. Okay? There it is. So this first slide here, this is the intervention focus of instruction. These are the 5 skills that we focused on throughout the year with our groups, that being phonemic awareness, phonics fluency, comprehension, and vocabulary. Those are the big 5 that we hit this year. The next slide, there we go, is our scope and sequence. These are the sub-skills that we worked on during the entire year with our groups. These skills were kind of adjusted based on student needs. I won't read all these for you, but you can kind of see that we covered a lot of things this year, probably more than what's up here. Okay, so this first set of data we're going to go over is our STAR enterprise. That's not good. Bad angle, maybe. Yeah. Okay. All right, this first set of data, like I said, this is our STAR Enterprise Assessment. This assessment focuses on vocabulary and passage comprehension. The results for each student are calculated, and we will be looking at the student's grade equivalent growth. So the students we service this year were reading at about 1 or more grade levels behind. Our goal, me and Marl's goal, was to increase their grade equivalent by 1 full school year, which is the same as about 10 months growth. So like a 3rd grade student on level should be the 3.0 at the beginning of the school year, and by the end, about a 3.9. So according to our data on the slide and the handouts that you all received, the average growth of our 3rd grade regular ed and resource students, ironically, both were 1 year and 4 months growth. So we were really happy with that. And for each one of these, we did break up our data by regular ed students and then resource students. You'll kind of see that on both slides. Then for our 4th grade, the So for our 4th grade, a regular ed student averaged 1 year and 1 month's gross, while our resource averaged about 9 months gross. 9 months growth. So both of them.
Resource students that are designated like with the special ed IEP also receive tier reading intervention.
Yes.
That's just gonna be clear.
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of students yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So what we were really proud of, that out of the 58 students that we serviced, we were able to increase 34 students' reading levels by over 1 school year's growth. That's 59% of our students making over a year's growth, and actually 7 of those students even made over 2 years' growth. So we were really happy with that. Okay, the next set of slides will be of the CBM assessments. No, maybe not.
Your laptop turned on.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah. All right, so the next set will be of the CBM assessments, both STAR and Easy CBM, which involve having students read aloud from an unpracticed passage for 1 minute. Any errors are noted, then calculated, and words read as word reads correctly per minute. This practice has been used for over 30 years as a validated research tool in the primary grades. These assessments are used to regularly monitor student progress and to determine if the interventions being used are effective. As the data on the slide shows, when given the STAR CBM, our 3rd graders in both regular ed and resource students increased by 53 words per minute, from their initial STAR test at the beginning of the year. So that was their growth from the beginning to the end. They both, ironically, again, averaged 53 words growth per minute. So again, we were pretty proud of that. Fourth graders increased by 35 words per minute in regular ed and 22 words per minute with the resource students. Another assessment tool called Easy CBM was used in the same format as the STAR CBM. Third graders in the regular ed increased 44 words per minute from their initial test from the beginning of the year, and 49 words per minute for the resource students. Again, that's the growth over the whole year. That's how many words per minute they got better at over the course of the year. Okay. So we're very proud of the growth that we have seen in our students this school year. As you can see in the handouts that you all have, you have the individual of both schools, all of the students. So you can see individually how each one of those students did. We feel we were very successful in achieving growth in all areas, more than we typically saw in a regular school year within our own regular ed classrooms. So without this program, these 58 students would have not received services and would have not seen the growth in their reading abilities that we saw with the interventions that we provided. We were very pleased and happy to be able to finally reach those students who needed that additional reading support that in the past were not able to receive that. So that's kind of a quick snapshot of what we did this year. Like I said, I think we were pretty proud of the results that we did.
So this is done in tandem with title or in like?
I look at it as it's kind of like an extension of title.
Yes. So a student will see both a title and a reading interventionist, or one or the other? One or the other?
It kind of overlaps sometimes, but how we kind of broke it up was title kind of took the lowest students. Like at my school, Allison Downing took the lowest, then Angie West took kind of the next group, and then I took that group that was kind of on that bubble. Like they probably needed to receive title services, but they just didn't have the room for it. So we were able to get to those students. So we pretty much covered all the kids that we feel were struggling, we got to this year. And the ones that were left over were, they're either on grade level or pretty close.
So how is this like, sorry, you're about to say something.
I was going to say, and at Frohart, Marla saw a lot of title kids as well. Where hers was a little different scenario than his. So, yeah, and it's, it's different needs too. It's based on kids' needs. And so this is what we do in tiers is you're giving students what they need. So
you talked about scope and sequence. So what scope and sequence, what curriculum, what interventions are we using tier 2 and tier 3?
Well, we're following the science of reading, which is the new trend that everyone is following, which is phonics-based. So we're finding what challenges the kids are having. Maybe they're not knowing the TH sound when they come in. So we start at the lowest bare bones, what they need to accomplish to be successful readers.
How long does it take you to kind of evaluate where to begin?
It took us quite a few weeks because there's a lot of assessments that are given.
Yeah.
We use the STAR reports. We use some one-on-one testing that we do. Pontus and Fennell, we used at my school. I'm not sure what specifically they did that might have been a little different, but just a lot of the reports that's done school-wide that we follow.
Do the students seem to be pretty receptive to the approach?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
They're eager to come, and they're sad when it ends.
And again, a lot of it, what you see is just the confidence. The confidence that you see throughout the year, not even just in a small group, but when you talk to the teachers, they're raising their hands to read. Because they're more fluent. They're not worried so much about sounding out all those words. They can grab those passages now and they can read them. So that's kind of it was nice to see. It was really neat to see. I'm sorry.
During your reading period, is that when they're pulled out? She said.
It's just throughout the entire day. Usually, like at my school, they did it a little bit different. So like when title would grab, let's say your classroom, we would try to do it all at once. So like when title would take their students, I would grab my students,
And
So we were,
classroom with a smaller group as well.
yeah, and then the classroom teacher could work with, they were given students too, that, and they could do, if they wanted to at that time, they could work with their small group.
Yeah.
Looking at, these students, or, just generally speaking, what would you say is a breakdown of students receiving tier 2 interventions versus tier 3 interventions?
That's kind of hard. We treat almost all of them as tier 3. That way that we can progress monitor them weekly to see, the growth or the decline that might be happening.
So you see them individually, or you see them in groups and then progress monitor individually?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. I was able to see a few more like tier 3 students, like if it fit into my schedule. Like a couple kids, I would just take them out once a week, and just work with them. But I think they also worked with like the PE teachers were involved, and who else?
On your MTSS groups?
Yeah.
They all do MTSS, different tiered intervention groups within their buildings as well. And the building principals are here too, and they can tell you about their different little groups if you have any questions. But because every building does it a little differently for their small group interventions, but everybody does. And, so it just depends on, what type of groups that they're doing.
What's the, quote unquote, in any building administrator, or we could just talk in generalities, of like graduating from a tier? Because the idea of RTI, MTSS, is that you're providing the services, and then eventually we want them to move out. We're not trying to push them out, but like I'm thinking in terms of efficacy and efficiency. So looking at your caseloads, when and how do you determine when they're graduating out? Or, I guess talking to the building leadership team here, when you're making those, how periodically do you meet when you make those decisions, just to see who's moving up and who's moving out?
Our title teachers meet with classroom teachers monthly, and we do just that data review, whether it's ongoing classroom assessments, whether it's tiered kids with progress monitoring, and we have those conversations at that time. So about every month.
That's the same for the 3-4 centers, month to 6 weeks, maybe a month. There are data meetings.
So in your buildings, how do you delineate or distinguish between tier 2 intervention and tier 3 intervention?
Progress, what progress they've made.
Yeah, sorry, I mean the actual intervention you're providing.
Progress. If they're doing well, then we don't need to change the intervention. But if they aren't, then we look at it, do we need to shorten the group? Do we need to increase the time? Do we need to change the intervention altogether? So those data meetings every month are crucial. Those are the kind of conversations, exactly. Is Haggerty working? Is Dr. Haggerty working? Maybe we need to do one more one-on-one. So those kind of conversations happen at that time if we need to change the intervention or tweak.
Person on the street walks up curious about tiered interventions like I am. How would you define a tier 2 intervention versus a tier 3 intervention in your building?
In our building, tier 2 supports the instruction and the curriculum to support the classroom teacher, and tier 3 is working on the skills that those students, basic skills that those students have missed.
So it's more kind of like not augmenting in the terms of enrichment, but providing additional scaffolding to access that tier 1 curriculum. That would be tier 2. And tier 3 would be more gap filling or
Absolutely.
individually.
Yep.
I see it as like core plus more plus more. So you have your core as your tier 1, and then tier 2 is more than that. Tier 3 is core plus more, and then more than that. So that could be higher frequency with how often you're seeing the kids, lower student to teacher ratio, things like that.
Is this, I'm thrilled to see that this is coming into fruition after, RTI we've been talking about since I taught here, and that was a long time ago. I would love to see some data of, again, how students move in and out of tier 2 and tier 3. Whether it's, I think the layout of this is fantastic. I love the data and the reports for that, but again, it's good as we move forward and we continue to evaluate the needs of our students and also the quality interventions, because as you all know, those interventions are key. And we can't just throw interventions, I'm not saying you two are by any means, but like we can't just throw interventions at kids and hope something sticks, right? So just seeing those targeted interventions. One other question I have, so currently it's reading intervention that is in place, not math?
Just reading. That's what we focus on.
Reading is currently what we have, yeah. So are there plans for adding math?
I'd like to, just looking at feasibility and cost of living interventions. But I would love to do that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So every building's kind of on the same plan now.
Yes.
Is what we're thinking. So when they move from 3rd, 1st grade
grade building to the third grade building, they're still, everybody's on the same page.
We're working as a team and with the employment of Donna White, helping us as the interventionist moving forward next year on the path forward. Then that will be also a help with the vision for the next 2 years as well. And working with Brain Spring and the phonemic awareness that will bring to the table, and everyone using the same interventions and speaking the same language, that will also help our students and our staff.
Great. So, so this plan, you said you began it in 2020, but it's kind of been evolving.
It's been fluid. Well, then COVID hit, and so there's been a lot.
So we haven't really made like a hard roll out of this. So like if you pulled teachers,
You guys are actually the first to see it.
Exclusive.
Yes. Yep. Yes.
That'd be great.
Yes.
Oh, I have one more, I'm sorry, real quick, it won't go off, I'm sorry, this is like, I love this stuff and I'm passionate about it. So this is third and fourth grade, what does this look like in first, this is in play in all the buildings, right? Like, we had the presentation from third and fourth, but in first and second grade, what do you have for support? You have title teachers?
Yeah, so Wilson, we have 4, like 3 and then a little bit more than a half title teachers that service our students. We serve in the spring about 115 kids, 82 of those in tier 2 and 33 were in tier 3 in the spring. We use also the mindset of the science of reading, the curriculum that our teachers use this year's BLAST curriculum by really great reading. And I know that Donna White's going to be helping us, hone in on one common language and one common vision for the district. So we're totally stoked to continue the training that our teachers have with the science of reading.
Which is great because science of reading itself is not a curriculum, it's a science
Right.
of
Yes.
reading.
It's a theory. It's a theory.
Curriculum
Yes.
tying to the science of reading and holding true to that.
And Maryville has 3 title teachers, and we had 1 title aide this year. And then we kind of do a building stops, and we do RTI at the end of the day currently right now for 25 minutes a day, 4 days a week.
And ours are determined by ISO scores.
And then, what's it look like for 5th and 6th?
Yeah, we have title built in throughout our day as well. Yeah, we have 2 title teachers and an aide.
And you do MTSS, social emotional.
We do, right, we have MTSS on the behavioral end too. That's a whole other.
It is, and that's what, I'm glad you brought that up, so like, this general MTSS plan, this is for all kinds of interventions.
Yes,
Behavioral,
because you can have
academic,
behavior boot camps, which they're all gonna do this fall. So they're all super excited about that, because we're gonna get back to that, because when we first started MTSS, we decided as a group that kids have to be able to behave to be able to learn. So we all started with behavior boot camps when it first started. And Lori, I don't know if you remember that or not, but it first started with behavior boot camps. And then we went to the academic MTSS end. So everyone had posters in their buildings about, how to behave in the hallway and what the certain hand signals meant, and the voices, your voice volume in the cafeteria versus your voice volume in the hallway, in the classroom, in the bathroom.
So it's kind of along lines like a PVIS matrix.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So.
Thank you.
Thanks for staying so long. Yep, and then one more. Dr. Keel, alternate
The time has come. Thank you all for waiting. I know this is the moment you were waiting for. I want to thank Billy for an 8 o'clock time slot he left me. Appreciate that as well. So I was asked to give an update on the alternative education programs that we offer in the district. We do offer 2. The Granite City High School Evening Academy just completed its 5th year. We have now graduated 192 students over those 5 years in that program. It is a program that is housed at the Grand City High School. The students attend classes above the cafeteria. They go to school from 4 to 9:15 p.m. It serves mainly juniors and seniors. Our day program at the Lake School, it serves students in grades 5 through 12, and they go to school from 8 to 1:30. So we'll dig a little deeper into both of these programs. And if you have questions, you can jump in anytime.
I will.
So, well, you said you were passionate about elementary. So the Evening Academy, it did start in the fall of 2018. The total number served this year, we had 120 students this year that were served in the program. We did have 11 graduates in December, and we had 24 that graduated May, just last Friday. And we have 7 summer school graduates that are on pace to graduate this summer. They just have to complete a course or two. So that's important because it does assist the high school graduation rate. So right now you're looking at possible 42, assuming those 7 students graduate in June, at the end of June for summer school. And those 25 of the 42 are 4-year grads, and that's really important. The plus 7 more are graduating less than 4 years. So out of, what's that, 32, that's a big difference. And that's the reason why it's important is because we have a graduation rate at the high school, which is 74% last year, but these numbers right here, that's 8.5% of our overall graduation rate. We had 376 students graduate last Friday, and if you take the 32 students into that, 8.5% is a huge percent of our graduation rate, and that can't be ignored. The attendance rate was 75%, which for the year, which is fantastic for an alternative program. I said it serves students in 11th and 12th grade. Offers a work-study program. That's important because it's an easy way to catch up on credit. So a lot of our students, they have to work. Like I co-opted in high school because I wanted to drive a car. These students, they work because they have to work. They're helping out at home. It's completely different nowadays. But there's so much criteria that you have to get to in the traditional day program at high school in order to get into the work co-op program because there's not that many slots available. Well, it's kind of a hamster on a wheel because you have these kids that work and they work so much they don't go to school, or they don't have the assignments turned in, or they come in tardy so they miss first hour or second hour, and it's going the opposite direction. So they're not getting their credits, they are failing classes, and so they get behind. But here at the Evening Academy, they can get credit for the job that they already have. So they take the online course through Edgenuity, which has been awesome. They get a credit for that, and then they also get credit for the work that they do. So if you go to the Evening Academy, it's pretty easy to get 4 credits in a semester. So if I'm a junior, going to my junior year and I have 8 credits, if I can pick up 8 credits my junior year and then take a summer school class or 2, I'm on pace to graduate on time with my peers or possibly graduate early, which is unheard of. So it opens up a lot of doors. Yes, Lauren?
I just have one question, Dave. When they're working on the Ingenuity, it's an online, they can work on that at home at their own time?
Yes, great question. So the first, it's 4 to 9:15, so we have 3 classes every night, and we have multiple classes going on at the same time. So we have a 4 to, it starts at 4 o'clock, goes from 4 to 5:45. That first hour and 45 minutes, that first class, is an independent study course for everyone. So if everybody in this room was in room 12 doing independent study, we'd all be on our Chromebook, and I'd be working on English, Chris would be working on math, you'd be working on history, whatever we're behind on, wherever we need our credits. Okay, so it's easy to assign that specifically just to kids instead of us having to offer or hire 42 teachers to teach all those classes. But so you can go during an hour and 45 minutes, work on your independent study course, but you can also work on it at home. You can work on Fridays, you can work on the weekends. And the other plus to the Evening Academy is once you take that course, if you knock one out in 6 or 7 weeks, you can take another one. So that's a great opportunity if you're a kid who's behind.
Okay.
And there are teachers there too, you know, for assistance.
Yes, and we have it, yes, thank you. We have a teacher in each one of those independent study courses that helps students along with that. They open up tests, they close them, all those things, but they're also there to help them and assist them with that.
If they're working on, at like say, 10 o'clock at night at home, is that count toward their attendance? If they're working, can you tell they've been working an hour and a half on the programs?
Yes, you can tell, everything. You can monitor everything that they're
So
doing online.
But if they miss a class, it's just an absence, they don't get to apply that to like time that they
Correct.
may have been working.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's why, clearly, they don't go to school on Friday nights from 4 to 9:15. Kids won't go, and I can't find teachers that do it, so we all understand that. So the Fridays are set aside for students to work who have work co-op, and then for them to work on their specific independent study courses and their online courses for that. So offers online courses through Edgenuity, we just talked about that. That's kind of been a godsend because that's also helped out in study halls at the high school, so now they have some credit recovery there. So if I've already failed an English class or a math class, then in my study hall I can take an Edgenuity class for that and hopefully catch up on that credit. Teacher recruitment success, that's kind of been a sneaky success for us as well, because we've had teachers from other districts that have friends here in the community, because those teachers live in this community, they just teach somewhere else. And they find out about the program, and they want to teach in the program, and so they've kind of helped out with that. And then we went ahead and stole them from their district, and we hired them full time. So we did that with Lindsay Doolittle, who is now a coordinator in this program. And we also stole a science teacher and a math teacher, and both of them work for Lake at the Alt Ed program there. So it's been wonderful. Also, we have a coordinator administrator path. Steve and I always joke that it's the, what do you call it, Steve?
The principal preparation program?
Yes, the principal preparation program, because Christy Mode and Chris Hutchings were both coordinators in this program, and they have since been hired as assistant principals. And Chris Hutchings actually oversees the program now. So that's kind of worked out for that as well, because they get a taste of doing home visits, calling how many people about attendance, working on scheduling, looking at their plan. Hey, trying to let them know this is the light at the end of the tunnel, and sometimes dealing with behaviors and things like that. They work in conjunction with the high school and their counselors and things like that as well to make sure kids are on the path. And sometimes kids, they get success, they want to go back to the traditional day program for maybe their last semester, their senior year, things like that. So it all works together. It is grant funded. I have a grant, a TAOP grant. It's about $270,000, something like that, but it funds that. We're also able to pay for like driver safety. And we pay a teacher just for 9 weeks, so we get those kids caught up. We do the same thing with Donnie's building as well. And I know, Lori, when you worked at SWIC, I'll never forget when you called me and you said, hey, because you were teaching GED classes, and you said, hey, what's going on with this night school program? Our numbers are way down in our GED students. And I said, well, that's good news to hear for us, because that means we're keeping our students. And that is what happened, because Lori's like, hey, seriously, like our numbers are really, really down. And I said, well, our numbers are really, really up. And so we average about 40 graduates a year over the last 5 years, which is phenomenal, really, really is. So.
GED's not easy.
No, it's not. It's not. And neither is the Evening Academy. So that's what we tell people all the time. And I will say that even with the Evening Academy and with the program we have at Lake, Donnie meets with every family, Chris Hutchings meets with every family, Steve met with every family, I met with every family when the whole thing first started. But we meet with every family and the student and let them know about the program before they get accepted into the program. So everybody understands exactly what the expectations are. So, and that's it's the only school building and program that can actually do something like that. Because you couldn't possibly do that with 400 students and things like that. So, and I think that's what helps make it work, because the parent really gets to know the principal. And they see that they're involved and they're engaged and that they want what's best for their kid. So, all right, so moving on to Lake Educational Support Services Center. This started off above the high school cafeteria, literally with 2 kids and 2 teachers. Thank God for Gerard Moore, who did the junior high class, and for Edna Sin, who did the 5th and 6th grade class. So that's kind of what we had. and they were both fantastic. Without either one of them, I say this all the time, without Edna Sen and Gerard Moore, I'm telling you, we wouldn't have this program. We really, really wouldn't, because, you know, Gerard, we had to pry over. He was more than willing to come, but we really did hurt the high school by doing that, but we really needed him. And he was great, but we knew he'd be great with those kids. And Edna was, you know, she was the one who applied, and she's always been a great fit there. She really, really has. So I owe a lot to them. I've always said that. But it started with 2 kids the year after the Evening Academy in the fall of 2019. It's now since moved to Lake, and the total number of students served this year is 98. We ended up with a little less than that because, like any other program, you know, some kids move away or some kids, you know, they don't attend. Same thing with an Evening Academy. But that's a huge jump in the last 4 years to start off with just 2 kids above a high school cafeteria, and then to have your own building and to have, you know, several classrooms now. We had a number of 2 graduates in December from Dr. Harris's building. We've had 2 May graduates, and we have 1 student graduating this summer. So again, that's important because his 5 are all 4-year or less graduates. And so when you add his to the Evening Academy, it's almost 10% that make up for our graduation rate. So both of these programs are huge to what's going on, not just our graduation rate, but to students and what the next step is for them. They now have that diploma that they need to go on to the next step. We have 10 students, and these are the exciting numbers too. 10 students return to their home schools this year, and we have 23 students that are returning to their home schools next school year. So that's huge because Donnie was in the room, Dr. Harris was in the room with me and Kristen and Jim and Zach and Brad and others in this building when we put this thing together. And the one thing that we wanted to do was we wanted to focus on putting a program together that just gave kids the resources that they needed to be successful so they could go back to their traditional school if they wanted to. Now, Dr. Harris has several students that don't want to go back. He has, you know, 7th and 8th graders that are there right now as 10th and 11th graders that are great students, but have been honest with Dr. Harris and said, I don't want to go to the high school with 1,800 kids. You know, it's too much for me, it's too big for me. I want to stay here. I'm being successful. I have 15 kids in a classroom, I have a teacher, and I have an aide that's helping me with my work. And, you know, Darren can't offer that at the high school. Nobody can. But that's what it takes for these kids to be successful. So we say all the time that, you know, the Evening Academy and especially Lake, you know, it's not a place for bad kids. It's a place for kids to get the resources that they need so they can go back to where they were. And we allow that. And we allow them to stay if they want to stay. And we've had a lot of success with that. We really, really have.
I have a few questions about numbers real quick, sorry.
Sure.
So you have total numbers served 98. So at any given moment, like what was your like max enrollment in that, like at that point? Like did you hit 98 or was it like over time that was, you know what I mean?
It'd be over time, yes. No, it'd be over time because it's mobility in this district it hits every
Well, just because I was looking at 98 and I was looking at, you know, 33. So you're talking about like a third in terms of graduation from that into whatever other setting, and that's remarkable.
Yes.
What kind of data, it might be early still, but what kind of data do you have for those that have returned to their home schools and how well they've done while there?
That we've had a remarkable turnout there. We really, really have. And a lot of our students, they don't get to go back. You can come to us, you can come to Dr. Harris's building anytime, okay, whether it's the middle of February or whatnot. Evening Academy, you have to go in by a semester. But Dr. Harris's program, you can go back to your home school at a semester break. So, but we've had great success with the students that have gone back. We haven't had anybody, Dr. Harris, that I know of, that has gone back to their traditional school and then returned to your program, have we?
We actually have had a few. They got back there at the high school, and there were some anxiety kids, and it was just so.
So it was their own volition.
So
they were
much.
Like,
yeah, it's not due to discipline.
Yeah, it wasn't a discipline.
It was their choice.
Yeah, they chose. We had 2 kiddos that met with.
We haven't missed very many though.
Yeah. No, I remember 2
Well,
this
good
year.
on them also to understand themselves.
Yes.
The benefit of what you get at that smaller setting at Lake, they understand themselves as learners, which would be brilliant if we could replicate for everyone.
And we do take students with IEPs there as well, and they've had a lot of success there also. They really have. The attendance rate there is 73%. I will say at that program and the Evening Academy, for my grant, I have to report those numbers every year. We have always been 70% or higher. It's usually right around, it's between 72 and 75% for either one of those programs. And that may not seem like a big deal, but I'm telling you right now, that's a huge deal. And we do have, I don't have it right now, especially 8, 10, and whatever on a Tuesday, but we have a lot of data that supports that. We have a lot of data to show that, Steve started that, we have a lot of historical data in those programs that show how many credits they had, how many courses they took, how many courses they failed, what their attendance was, and a GPA before they came to these programs, and what it is since. And it's night and day. It really, really is. For the kids who stay in those programs, it is literally night and day.
One more question, I promise I'm trying to not talk anymore. Curriculum-wise, so, you have offers online courses through Edgenuity. Is that they exclusively use Edgenuity there?
No.
Or is it like district curriculum plus?
It is absolutely the majority of Dr. Harris's curriculum is yes, it's district curriculum. So the one thing that Dr. Harris has implemented in his program, he's brought driver safety in there. He's figured out scheduling for driver's training. We offer work co-op there now. So now those kids, and that's why we have 5. I'll be honest with you. That's part of the reason why we have 5 students graduating this year. Is when we started that work co-op, and those kids, because those kids work too, and when they get that credit and a half for a semester, that's huge. And we pay a 6-hour assignment from my grant money. So we have a teacher that comes from the high school who teaches work co-op at the high school. So she teaches it their first hour. Then after that hour, she goes to the high school, and she monitors all that. But that credit and a half each semester is huge. And so if you can show a student who's behind a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's a clear light instead of a speck, which is what it used to look like, then that's the biggest success we have, is when you sit down and say, hey, we can get you out of here in a year or a year and a half. You know what I mean? And so when they see that path, it's night and day for them. It really is. That's when they buy in on that. Serve students in grades 5 through 12, offers work study, offers online courses through Edgenuity. That we do. It's a small number, because at this point, Dr. Harris does offer that. It's not as big. There's not enough space in the schedule probably for that to do more than that he wants to do. And then grant funds are allocated for this program. It does not pay for that program. But grant funds help that program. That's how we pay the driver's training and driver safety, or the driver safety teacher. That's how we pay the work co-op teacher. It's those 6-hour assignments. That comes from the grant money on that. But I will always say that, Steve Mathis, Chris Hutchings, Christy Mode, and right now Lindsay Doolittle and Adrian Johnson have been a huge success for the Evening Academy. We also have Dr. Harris at Lake has built so many relationships, and he says it at the intake meeting, we're a family here. And they really, really are a family here. It's not perfect, neither one of those programs are perfect, but they're well done, and they have a lot of success between both of those programs. And the model really is, you have to offer different options for different learners. And if you keep trying to force a square peg to go into a round hole, it's just not going to work. And that high school, it's got kids in those hallways that they know it's too much for them. And the Evening Academy at the high school, it sells itself. They have been coming to that office ever since it opened, asking, how can I get in? How can I get in? How can I get in? I saw that Dr. Harris is building on Friday when he's watching this kid eat everybody. But when I saw that his building, I got to talking to a girl, to a student, and Dr. Harris, she hadn't been for a few weeks, and he said, yeah, I was looking for her on my radar too. So he and I had the same thought process, and I talked to Chris Hutchings on Friday, and we're going to move her to the Evening Academy. And Dr. Harris said, no, I've been trying to get her there, but her attendance has been so bad he just couldn't get her, and then he couldn't move her in the middle of the semester. So so it works well. It really, really does. And Dr. Harris meets with every single student at the end of the year, and their family, to let them know if they're going back or if they're staying. What do you want to do? A student has a voice in that. And we find out that when you give kids options, that's huge. I will say in Dr. Harris's program, we've had kids that have been on the debate team, varsity football, varsity track. They go to prom, they go to homecoming, just like they do in the evening academy. So you're going to watch a video here in just a second. And when we show that video, see really in both buildings, not so much in Dr. Harris's building because it was filmed in a different classroom. But you see these kids in the evening academy, it was all done purposely. We put the GC logo just like that, and we had them painted in the hallway. So those kids, when they go, they know they're a high school student. They just go in the evening. And I've always tell them, we tell them at the intake, it's no different than when we went at night school for college. You take a college class at night, sometimes because the professor was easier, or it just worked out for your schedule. But every one of us has done it, and we said the same thing. The only difference between those two, especially Lake, is the address. That's it. In high school, they just go a different time. But it's all Grand City School District teachers, administrators, and curriculum.
Before the video, I just want to add one more thing I think it's really important Dr. Harris has done there. I've been really impressed with is bringing the character education, the Rethink Ed, making sure that they have that social emotional support, which is also a tiered approach. And I think that's been really helpful in the success of these students as well. Because we said before, if they're not behaving, it's hard for them to learn. So I just wanted to add that.
No, great point, yes. And the other thing he's been able to do that nobody else can do and they're super jealous about is he has the metal detector. He has an SRO, and he has a nurse, and he has a cafeteria lady. And with that metal detector, he takes every phone from every student before they come in, and then they sit in a box so they can see it, because otherwise, it's like a third alarm to a teenager. But he takes that so he doesn't have the social media headaches and the drama that comes with that. So Aaron hasn't figured out how to do that just yet. He's not worried about that. Aaron said he would have stayed a couple more years, that way he can figure that out. Right, so I have a video, so let's hear it from students and staff if they can do a better job than I can.
It's real hands-on. The teachers are real hands-on. It's just a smaller environment to do your work and catch up on your credits. Definitely got my credits up. I was behind a lot. I had like 6 credits going into my junior year, and I'm going back to the high school for my last semester.
I definitely prefer the smaller school settings because less people that I have to be around.
It's kind of a little bit more peaceful than other schools I've been to, and also really changing to be a nicer person is helpful for me. And having less kids in class is helpful for me too.
It's fun, and I like doing my math, I like the lunch, and I like the food. Miss Lisa and Miss Gilly is nice, and they help me with my homework and stuff whenever I need help. I like how I get to work with my teacher by myself sometimes, just me and my teacher. I have social anxiety, after COVID, so being in a little community of people, it's helping me a lot. So I'm graduating 3.5 years, and then I'm going to SWIC.
What's worked out here at Lake is that I think from a staff perspective, we all kind of are on the same page in trying to ensure that if there's a kid that's struggling, that they've got another adult that they can come to and find. It's very much the feel of a family out here. We work really hard at staying together as a team to do what's best for our kids.
We're a smaller community, but we're also a family. Having a relationship with the students, making sure that we establish rapport with them, getting on their level. I think if we help develop their SEL, their social emotional more, then we'll be more successful.
I think the smaller class sizes allows the staff, everybody to be a little bit more flexible in the way that we deliver stuff to the students. And I believe that with that coincides with us being able to work with the parents and work together as a staff. I think that all blends in and helps us out so that we can do better for the students. With the smaller class sizes, it allows me to maybe have individual one-on-one conversations, not just around the academics, but around what's going on in their life. I think with the smaller class sizes, we're able to focus in more on their needs.
This is my first school year out at Lake, and one thing I really love about this building in particular is the support from the administrators
and the teachers, how they work so well together to kind of build a community in this building, specifically in our 5th and 6th grade classroom, having students who have had a lot of behavior issues in the past school year, coming out here and having almost zero because it's a smaller atmosphere, their anxiety is more under control, and they are learning the skills of how to ask for help rather than leaving the classroom or having other behavior issues that they've had in the past.
I'm in night school because I want to help my father. This opportunity was given to me by Mr. Hutchings. He's like, because I wanted to help my dad a lot. You know, I was just like, is there any opportunity I can like sometimes, I was thinking of like sometimes it's not going to school and like just kind of work with my dad mostly. Night school has been just a good time, great time. All the teachers I have great connections with. I felt like a real bond with them because this is night school, it's like a different atmosphere. I'm graduating a whole year early. Now that I look back at it, I worked hard in night school. I don't think I ever did that, even in daytime. But when I came here, it was like a totally different switch in my personality. I wanted to do school, I wanted to work, I just wanted to just be a better person, be more productive.
When I transferred out into night school, being in day school was a really big struggle for me. Like I wasn't going to be graduating in May, but when I transferred to night school, it actually changed my perspective on everything. To the point when I was here, to the point where I wanted to give up. Like I just didn't want to do it no more. I was going to say, you know what, I'm done with school. But they actually pushed me to become a better person. I am graduating in May. I'm planning on either going to SIUE or TSU, Tennessee State University, to become a nurse.
I've been with this program for so long because I truly believe that it is helping students in our district be successful when alternatively they would not find success.
The difference between night school and day school is it's more tailor fit to the student.
Kids that come here, they are looking for somebody to build a relationship with. And we build trust with the kids, they trust us and we trust them. With our Union Academy being so small, we only take a certain number of students. It lets the teacher to student ratio be very small, which allows for a lot more individualized instruction.
I think we're providing an opportunity for young boys and girls that do not have the time available to them to come to day school, that they can come to night school and get their high school diploma. And that's a win-win for everyone because a lot of students would love to stay in school, but their circumstances beyond their control is rewarding because some of these students I've had in day school and they are fine students, but knowing that it wasn't a good fit for whatever their circumstances were, just to help them to have the success to finish their high school, I think is rewarding enough, you know. I just enjoy seeing them have success.
Pretty much what we have, the first student, he did go back for spring semester, so we see that a lot. They'll go to Dr. Harris and say, hey, I've done everything I'm supposed to do. I think I'm gonna go back and enjoy the last half of my senior year. And, you know, they do it, and that student did graduate also. So, but when these kids talk about having social anxiety, I mean, they know that it's real. So, but the thing that really makes those programs be successful, it's the leadership, and the teachers that are there, they care. The staff does, and I think the kids know that. And they really, you can hear them say that those teachers and the staff are just really taking a bond to them and really making sure that they are successful. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Yeah, that video was great. I love the statistics, but that video is the. I want to say the elevator pitch a little longer than that, but that's
yeah. It's always best to hear it from the students.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for sure. We should have for more.
I think the opportunity for those teachers to have a smaller, and all our teachers do a great job of being able to have a smaller class size and that building, it allows them to do more things than they can't do necessarily in a 30-student classroom. So it's great for them as well.
I've always felt like some of the solutions to SEL has been individual attention from an adult. where they're not getting it, and in this program, they do, and it seems to bring them much more comfort, you know, so I don't know, I just think anyone who has the opportunity to get one-on-one attention from an adult that really cares is going to do much better, not only in school, but in their life. So, thank you so much.
Okay, the next board meeting, I think I said this a long time ago. June 27th, 2023, right here at 6. And we have a motion to adjourn.
So we,
Make it so.
let's make it so.
Make it so, that's your one. I'll second.
Nope, I'll just get a question.
Oh, wait.
Yes, that was, because I think that's important. And now send you something on.
We have a second, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we're done.